Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm just seeing people coming in, so this is wonderful. And hopefully you can see me and hear me. A-okay? Okay, great. Ah. Hello, hello. There we go. So my name is Shanna. This is Mat Pilates. Usually this is taught by Michelle, so I'm very excited and happy to be here and see all of you. It's such a treat. I don't think I've taught Mat Pilates for like 2 months now. So feel free to put in any requests. We'll get started in 2 minutes. I do have a mini ball with me. You don't have to. You could have a pillow or anything that just you enjoy having when you practice Pilates. I have a mini ball, like I said, and I have this Pilates ring. I just happen to have a lot of tools at home, but absolutely nothing is required. So let's see. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. And I'm just seeing everyone come in. Hello, hello. Hopefully, you know it, so maybe we've met before. Again, my name is Shanna. This is Mat Pilates. And one more minute. We're going to be starting on our back, so you can kind of get ready any time you want. Someone just chatted. Sorry, I thought this was yoga. I hope you still stick around, but you don't have to. But this is definitely going to be Mat Pilates, and it'll be a good core workout. And I worked out yesterday, just regular strength training, so my body's already a little in recovery. No worries, no worries. Okay, so if you need yoga, you go practice yoga. We're gonna do some Pilates. Okay, so let's see. Again, everyone hears and sees me okay? Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and just get started on our back and stretch out. Just kind of find your bearings. Notice how you feel. Whatever we do today, you want to make sure that it doesn't increase neck tension or low back. It's meant to help with all those things. And then you can hug your knees in and massage your lower back. Very nice. Go both directions. Breathing through your nose, at least to start, if possible. If not, breathe. Just make sure you're breathing and that you're not holding your breath, because that's easy to happen. I'm going to take my arms out to the sides and go a little bigger. So rather than circles, I'm going side to side. And you might start to feel how those obliques wake up to assist the return of the knees coming back over the belly area. Coming back to the center. Now bring your knees toward your more your belly, chest, and then take them more toward your hips. And just do this a few times and just feel how this shifts the work, so that when we do work in tabletop, you want to make sure that you're firing those low abs, mid abs, the whole area between your ribs and pelvis. That we know when we're strengthening, we're working between our shoulders and our pelvis. So just doing this a couple more times. And you want to make sure it's not tensing up. Okay, so like tensing up in the areas we don't need more tension. I'm going to carefully lower my feet, and then just a little bit more here. I'm taking my feet wide and letting the knees go side to side. So anytime you need a moment to recover, you can bring your knees in toward your chest or into this position. And now I'm bringing my legs just a little less than hip distance apart, a little forward of my knees, and I'm going to go from more of an anterior tilt to a posterior tilt. So I'm inhaling more toward that back bend, exhale toward that imprint. And just notice how you're shifting, and we're trying to start to wake up those muscles, the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, the low abs. Hold imprint. Bring your hands behind your head. Breathe in. Have your elbows just slightly up off the mat. On your exhale, nod your chin. Support your head to come up. And then we're going to carefully lower down. Inhale, slow motion at first. So we just want to make sure that we're supporting our lift with the entire, and I shake pretty quickly, but with the entire abdominal region. And like I said, between the shoulder girdle, pelvic girdle. Couple more times. Notice what's firing. Inhaling to go down. Exhaling to come up. Now, as long as it feels okay on your neck, and there's a slight nod of the chin here, or of the head here, I'm going to take one arm away and potentially both. So it's just really going to be your call. Okay? But I want you to see, can you fire those muscles along the underside of the arms? Or how are your abdominals firing? How's your head feeling? At any time, you can support your head. Breathe here. And as you get acquainted, right, with the Pilates breathing, can you pull your abs in and up on the inhale, feeling the breath inflate the back and sides? Exhale, maybe take this deeper. Just one more breath here. And then on your exhale, lower down. So we're just warming up. Check in with your neck, with your shoulders, with your hips. So we're going to come back into this, setting up though more tabletop. So you decide if your pelvis is going to be more neutral, okay, where a nice guide can be that the sides of your hips here and the pubic bone are in the same plane, or in that posterior tilt, that imprint. So you find what works for you. Maintain it, and then bring one leg up, and then the other. Okay, so again, it's going to be more challenging if you can keep your knees over your hips. Maybe your feet are a little bit higher than the knees. Arms can be supporting the head or hovering above the ground. Breathe in. On your exhale, nod the chin. Head, neck, shoulders come up. Feel, hold this. Make sure you're finding your breath, connecting to the back, to the sides, the center. And then we're just going to pump the arms. Okay, so inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. Can you feel the breath inflate the sides and the back? I mean, you're just trying to breathe into the back. Good. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Good. We're halfway there. 5 more breaths. Just getting hundreds out of the way. And exhale. So think about elongating through your arms, elongating your spine, supporting all that length and space in your spine. A couple more breaths right here. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, maybe a little bit more intensity, and then carefully come down and check in. Usually, I'm so used to teaching in a classroom where there's moans and groans, and I feed off of that just like any teacher. So it's a little strange to not have all that. Hug one knee in, reach the other leg away, and then carefully switch. So right now, when we do this a couple more times, it should feel like a really nice stretch. But we're going to come up and make it more of an abdominal strengthener. And we'll keep the pelvis very still. And we won't add the twist yet, okay? So as you're ready, coming into tabletop, again, find your appropriate position with your pelvis, the appropriate position for your legs. At any time you want, support your head. Breathe in. On your exhale, nod the chin, head, neck, shoulders come up. Now, to your depth, reach a leg. Bring it back in. Reach a leg. Make it really deliberate. The pace, okay, the depth, the arm position. Can you keep your pelvis really stable? A few more times, each side. We'll add on here in a bit. Good. Exhale, reach. Reach. One more time, each side. Deliberate pace. Beautiful. I can see your work. And carefully Come in. In between the exercises, you get the full, complete deep breath. In the midst of the exercises, we're working with posterior lateral breathing. We're really trying to keep that sense that everything's wrapping from the back, the sides, the center, pulling it in and up. And so that we're really targeting that strength, that intensity in our abdominals in that elongating kind of way. And then in between exercises, allow the relaxed diaphragmatic breathing. One more breath here. We'll start to do a little bit of twist. So let's keep the feet down, okay? And we're just going to test how to bring our ribs toward the pelvis without losing all of our alignment. So breathe in, exhale, head, neck, shoulders come up. I'm gonna take my right arm on the inside of my legs here, okay? And then all I wanna do is maintain that position with my pelvis, again, neutral or imprint, and a little bit, like I'm trying to reach the right lower rib toward the left rim of the pelvis. Reach, again, you decide position with the arms. Do make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up by your ears. Reach. So it's a small movement, yet super intense, hopefully. Good, 4 more here. Reach. 3, 2, 1. That cumulative effect, hold, 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 hold. Carefully release. Feel how one side feels more intense than the other. Check in. Again, over and over, we don't want anything to annoy the neck and shoulders, okay? So even if I'm not supporting my head here with my hands, it's always an option. All right, breathe in, stable pelvis, nod the chin, exhale, head, neck, shoulders come up. We're gonna go the other side. So left arm comes inside. Again, stable pelvis, teeny tiny movement. The left lower rib toward the rim of the right pelvis. Check in over and over and over again. Where are your shoulders? How's your neck? What do you need here? So you get the most out of your position. 3 more. Squeeze. So we're feeling that. Half of the X marks the spot. Carefully come down. So we're drawing these lines. The right rib toward the left hip pelvic area, left rib toward the right pelvis. And the same X occurs in the back. Okay, now we're gonna add that to the leg movement. Okay, so we're gonna come back to setting up for tabletop, never swinging. Breathe in on the exhale, 1 leg at a time. Position. On your next exhale, head, neck, shoulders come up. So we're gonna reach the right leg. As we reach the right leg, right rib comes toward the left. Switch, switch. But we want super stable pelvis. We're moving through through the thoracic spine. Reach. As you extend through that leg, really reach. Reach. Good. Keep going. So the movement is happening more from the ribs up. Make sure you even out. 1 more, each side. And carefully come in. Again, here's our reprieve. So really check in. We're going to do some bridging. Okay, so come back to our just feet on the ground. Check in with your shoulder blades, retract those shoulder blades, check in with your neck. Okay, so inhale, and on your exhale, engage your inner thighs, the pelvic floor, the low abs. We're going into a posterior tilt and coming up off the ground. On your exhale, slowly come down, or however you're breathing. Okay, so we're lifting up, elongating through the spine, and then slowly lowering down. Every time I go into this, in each phase, in the up phase and in the down phase, trying to elongate, trying to create space between the vertebrae. The shoulders should be away from the ears. Inhale and exhale to lift up. Pause at the top for a second. Notice your shoulder neck positioning. I'm still tucking my tail, lengthening through my spine. And then on the next exhale, coming down. I'm going to come back into this, but I want to bring my legs a little closer together. Okay, so now they're really, really close. And the feet are close enough to the body so we can do some options with the legs, okay? So inhale. On your exhale, engage inner thighs, pelvic floor, low abs. Come all the way up. So you want to make sure the hamstrings don't try to take over. I'm trying to minimize any shift right and left, and I'm just going to lift one heel and then the other. So we're alternating or taking turns, okay? Lifting and lowering the heels. Hopefully this is really firing inner thighs. See if you can make sure that the abdominals are also part of this. So we're not really shifting the hips side to side. We're going to be adding on in a moment, okay? So one more each side, just alternating the heel lift. Now the next time your right heel comes up, pause. Really ground through that left leg. Really try to keep that hugging in toward the midline and bring your right leg up. I'm trying to keep it from going toward my belly, just over the hip, and I'm going to lower it down just as deliberately. So again, minimize your shift as you go into the other side. Control with your abdominals. Make sure you're still breathing so you're not holding your breath. The neck is not carrying any undue tension here. I'm trying to keep my tail tucked. We're going to add on again. So the next time your right leg comes up, potentially reach that leg, straightening it or lessening the bend. Hold it. Peek at your hips, okay? Can you see, is everything level? That left leg's working really hard. Good, let's reach the leg to some depth here and bring it back up. Let's flex the foot as we reach and lower. Point to bring it back up. 3 more times, reach and bring it back up. Reach, woo, bring it back up. I'm trying to keep my hips level. Last time here. Bring it back up. Carefully bend your right knee. Okay, so if you need a moment, you pause, regroup, come back. Inner thighs are engaged, tail is tucked, lengthen. Pay attention, shoulders and neck. So without shifting, I'm gonna lift my left leg. Reach it up. Really reach, flexing the foot. Bringing it down, pointing to bring it back up. Good, I'm trying to not shift my weight to the right. Bring it back up. 3 more. Reach, strong right leg. Reaching left leg. Good. Breathing, breathing. 1 more. Bring it back up. Bend. Woo, my goodness, right? Carefully come down. Good. And then rest if that wasn't, if you haven't already. We sure need it right now. Good. 1 more breath. Coming back to the center. Okay, so I'm going to reach my legs straight. Anytime you need to adjust that for whatever reason, low back, whatever you need, you can bend the knees as you're ready to straighten them, you straighten. We're going to work on roll up. Okay, so reach your arms again like you're just waking up. Okay, and then reach them up toward the ceiling. Now, notice, can you retract those shoulder blades, keeping the chest nice and broad and the neck relaxed. Breathe in. Exhale, nod the chin. Head, neck, shoulders come up. Look toward your legs. Pause. See if you can cinch, right, this connection between your ribs and your pelvis. Really elongate through the legs and see if you can slow motion round up. Okay, so right here, can you pause for a moment and feel as though you're trying to pull your ribs so that they're over the hips. I'll take off a layer. Maybe it'll show up better. Okay? So we're just trying to have this, like we're being pulled back. Okay? Shoulders here. So as if you have, this visual is helpful, as if you have a Pilates ring, you're pressing down. Okay, and I'm just going to pretend I have one. I want to press down from my sides. Press, press, press. We're going to hold that engagement. Breathe in. Exhale. Carefully articulating down, trying to keep the legs grounded, trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Arms can go overhead. I'm trying to not pop my ribs. Okay, inhale, arms go more toward the ceiling. Exhale, nod the chin. I want you to pause right here. Okay, and that head, neck, shoulders come up, but we pause. Breathe in here. Then on the exhale, use the breath. And you want to pause as your ribs come over your hips. And then you can return to neutral, as though we're pressing down on that Pilates ring. And then head, neck, shoulders, right? We come back into that flexion. Breathe in here. Really reach through your legs. And slowly, as slowly as you can go, control the descent. Arms reach overhead. Bring your arms back toward the ceiling. Retract those shoulder blades on your exhale. Nod the chin. Head, neck, shoulders come up. Pause. Lengthen. Engage. And then on your next exhale, so that we're not oomping up. Pause here. Press down on that imagined resistance. Keep finding your sides over and over and over again. Maybe come up to neutral. And head, neck, shoulders. We're doing this like little roll down. And then taking that shape. We're going to come up halfway on the next one and add some variation. So you could reach overhead. Arms come back over your shoulders. Nod the chin. Head, neck, shoulders come up. Okay, pause here. Right? Reach through your legs. Now stay with this position. Support your head. Or here, we're going to go overhead and back. So the arm movement makes this more challenging. Reach. And then reach forward out in front of you. Good. Keep going. Add a variation of alternating the arms. It's all challenging, at least I think so. Keep those legs strong. Maybe one final one where both arms are reaching. Keep them reaching. Knit the ribs. Oh, can we come up? Can we come up? Can we come up? Can we come up? Is that too much to ask? And carefully come up to seated. Take your hands back behind you. Let the knees go side to side. Good. Okay, I want to come on to hands and knees. Okay, so put any extra cushion you need underneath your knees anytime, whatever you need here. Okay, and then just check in. How do you feel around your neck and shoulders? And then can you find your center? I'm going to bring my knees just a little bit closer together. So let's do a few cat and cow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck the tail around the spine. Now see if you can find a connection to the abdominals. Make this more of a Pilates movement, the roll up, roll down kind of experience, than the relaxed yoga experience. Good. And then find neutral, okay? All right, so neutral without tension, okay? So find those retracted shoulder blades, a nice broad chest, and then I want you to carefully, we're gonna reach opposite arm and leg, okay? So I'm gonna take my right arm, left leg, reach away. I wanna keep them on the ground, okay? And then lift and lower. And notice, can you center your weight? It's harder than it sounds like it would be. Okay, so if you look down, can you tell if you're leaning into that right knee? Good. Are we overloading that left hand wrist? So what can you do to mitigate that? Center the weight. Share the load. So I'm just tapping. Good. Hold it up if you can. We're going to take them out at a diagonal. Back to the center. Again, we're trying to keep everything centered. So the whole body is working here. 3 more times. Hug in toward the midline. Twice more. Hug in. 1 more. And then carefully come back in. Child's pose or down dog or just something. I want you to release any tension in your wrists. Another breath. And then as soon as you're ready, setting up for side 2. So allow yourself to feel how the body wants to shift, and then that will give you the contrast. You know, what does it feel like to hug it in toward the midline? How does that feel different? Okay, so I'm really working at this, pretending I'm on a paddle board. Okay, so I'm on the water and I don't want to tip. All right, so now I'm gonna reach the other way. I'm gonna reach my right leg, left arm. It's amazing how quickly I can forget. Okay, centering the weight, lengthen, lift, and lower. And what I'm really watching for myself is I'm trying to not go into a back bend. In addition to the shifting off to the side, I'm trying to maintain neutral. Breathe. Yeah, so if my brain can keep it all together, I'm trying to tap and lift. It's a lot to think about, at least for me. Okay, a few more times. Again, notice, are you leaning into the left leg or the right hand? Hold up and then go out to side. Hug in toward the midline. Side, in toward the midline. A few more times. How are we doing? Neck and shoulders, low back. Right? How's that all feeling? One more. And then carefully release. We're going to do some planks. We're going to do some forearm planks, but I want you to do what's best for your shoulders. Okay. So I'm coming down onto my forearms. You can interlace fingers or have your hands apart. Okay, whatever feels best here. But pay attention to how your upper back is trying to position itself. See if you can let your heart melt. And so that when you engage, you feel everything from your shoulders to your hips, but not here in around your neck, not in your low back. So we're breathing in, and then I'm going to take my legs back. You're welcome to come up onto your knees, okay? But test this out. Can you easily look left and right? All right, lengthen. So you can hold, not your breath, but hold the position, strong. I'm going to bring my feet closer together. And then I'm just going to alternate lifting a foot. Is that just ridiculous? Okay, so lengthen, maybe one foot, and then the other. And what I'm trying to do here is build on what we just did. And I'm trying to not shift to the side to make this happen. Lift, maybe. Or think about lifting. Few more each side. So 2 more each side. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Remember to breathe. Last one for me. And I'm carefully coming down and resting before the second round. Okay, so another, maybe holding the plank or exploring variations. Okay. So the next one I'm going to do, I'll just tell you ahead, I'm going to do some knee taps and I'm going to do some shifting hip lowering to each side. Okay, so again, pick and choose, as always, whether you were in person or, you know, in my classes when we were there or at home now, right? It's still your call. All right, breathe in, set it up, feel strong, come into your plank without any neck tension whatsoever. And then once I feel set, I'm going to knee tap, lift up. Knee tap, lift up. And over again, I tell myself, retract those shoulder blades, engage the abdominals in this lengthening, strengthening way. Few more just like this. Everything we're doing is trying to enhance our everyday posture. One more. I'm going to hold, and now I'm going to roll on my feet. Hip, hip. Side to side with control. Few more each side. Exhale. Keep checking in. One more. And careful. Careful lower. Okay. Grabbing. Okay, I'm gonna come onto my side. All right, so what's really easy to do, to happen on when we work on our side is for everything to sort of collapse. Okay, so I always try to do some workarounds so that all doesn't happen. First thing, okay, is I want to make sure that I'm trying to find neutral, right? So I'm supporting my head, but my head is off the ground so that it feels more like it's in line with my spine, okay? Now, your bottom arm, you need to make sure it's comfortable, okay? And my position may not be your position, okay? But just engage. Inner thighs, pelvic floor, low abs, elongating the spine. Let's lift the top leg just to hip height, and we're gonna take it forward and back. So we're just setting ourselves up. So this is really, this is side plank, right? We're just not in that full body weight variation of it, but we want to feel the strength and alignment of our side plank. If you want to add just a little bit of instability, rather than your top arm here being in front of you and maybe you're not ready to reach it up, you can always put it on a ball or something less secure. I'm going to take my leg now and reach, okay? So now it's not bent, and I'm going to take it forward and back. And the challenge here is to keep it on the same plane. Can you feel if it wants to bounce? If you've ever had your foot in any kind of tubing or spring, what we're trying, I'm feeling and seeing my leg bounce. Okay, so we're reaching and trying to find fluidity in the motion. Okay, keeping everything on. Let's reach it forward. Little lower and lift. Lower and lift. Reach. Reach. Feeling that outer glute, feeling inner thighs, I hope, feeling the abdominals, because we're not collapsing here. Good. Reach. Reach. Trying to keep it just about hip height. Trying to control mine. One more. Take it back behind you. A little lower and lift. Lower and lift. Noticing which face feels more welcome to you. Okay, good. So I have it a little bit behind the line of where the leg would land if it was neutral. At least I'm trying. Keep tucking the tail, engaging those abs. Few more. Good. Now bring it back to where it's maybe slightly forward, and we're going to take that bottom leg. Okay, so currently legs are parallel, but I'm going to lift both legs up off the ground, teeny tiny. Lower and lift. Maintain. See, you'll see I have like this little mouse house. Everybody's different. Okay. Lift. So we're working. Everything is working. Good. Few more. Two more. Now the challenge is going to be, can I remember everything that we're doing for side two? Hold. Externally rotate. Okay. Little beat, 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 beat. Both legs. Beat, beat, beat. Maybe top arm reaches. Woo, yeah, I hope. Beat, 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 beat. Can we just do this forever and ever? That's a typical question I'll ask. Beat, 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 beat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We're not done though. Hold here. You can lower your bottom leg, but try to keep that intention. And let's lift and lower. Maybe point as you come up, flex as you lower down. So if you'd like, you can hover the bottom leg, but not required. Let's go 4 more. 3 more. Use those sides to help you stabilize. 1 more. Good. And let's go ahead and carefully bend the knees, release. Because I'm scared to add any more on, because I know I'll forget. Okay, so we're going to switch sides, and it would take any props with you. All right, so first just feeling the contrast, in the sides, making sure neck and shoulders all feel good. Getting Pilates here. Funky hair already. Okay, so see how and feel how easy it is to collapse, right? And so we want to make sure that we're really engaging and sharing the load. So I don't know if there's enough contrast here on camera, but I'm trying to make sure I pick up, okay, so the bottom side just enough to feel that my spine is neutral, that the head positioning, right, supports again that elongated spine. Knees are bent. We're just going to lift that now top leg. One thing I didn't mention before, but if you were if you're feeling like you're gonna tip, you'd rather feel like you're tipping forward than back, okay? So that's where we're trying to center ourselves, but it can be really tricky. And we're just taking the leg forward and back, stable pelvis. So usually in the classroom, I'd at least be able to rely on, you know, the easy shout out of any student going, Shanna, you forgot X, Y, Z, and I'm like, oh, okay. But here, it would be much harder for you to let me know. So I'm really trying to rely on my own memory. Good. Few more here. And feeling that familiar sensation of side planks. Good. Now hold. Let's take the leg out in front. I'm trying to maintain hip height. I'm trying to maintain like as though there's a rod going through my pelvis, trying to keep it stacked. Again, still as if I would ever do this on the water. Not, but I'm trying to imagine if I were on a paddleboard. I don't want to tip. Good. Keep checking in that your neck is feeling good. Good. Couple more. On our next one, we'll hold it out in front and little tap. Tap. And it doesn't matter if it touches the ground, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, but I'm really trying to maintain this elongated spine. Good. Few more. Control without tension. Good. Carefully hold it up. Take it back behind. Tuck the tail. Use your abdominals. Little lower. Little lower. You could totally do circles. Okay, I'm just trying again. Keeping it simple for my brain to remember. Good. Few more. 3, 2, hold. Bring it back. We're going to extend the bottom leg. First, keeping it neutral. Lift. I don't lift very high because if I do, and it's just a different position, we'd have to lean into the bottom glute. So we're not doing that right now. Lift. Lift. Small. Few more. 2 more. Hold. Externally rotate. Beat, 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 beat. Beat, beat, beat. Lengthen. Grow taller. Feel all this. We have one more move. Hopefully I've remembered everything. Okay. Beat, beat, beat. Again, grow taller. Use those abs. Use your sides. Good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Lift. Maybe that bottom leg continues to hover. Maybe you need to lower it. It's okay. I think I'm remembering correctly. Woo! 3, 2, woo! 1 more. And lower. I'm going to roll onto my belly. Prone position. Pause. So we're going to work here. If this is just not a good position for you for whatever reason, you can come back to all fours and work with single leg lifting rather than both legs moving. So adapt, get creative. Okay, so if I don't come up with a solution that works for you, keep working it. Make sure you're challenging yourself appropriately. Okay, so I've got a little external rotation through my legs. They're turned out away from each other. I'm just up here, so I'm not muffled. Okay, but you can have your spine neutral. I want to lengthen, bend the knees. There's household noise, so hopefully you're only hearing me. All right, so feet can be flexed or toes can be pointed, right? But engage the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, the low abs. Lengthen through your spine and lift, lift, lift. Make sure your sides are participating. Lift, lift. There's multiple positions for the arms. Okay, so there's no one right position. I have no idea what's happening in my house right now. Good. Lift, lift. Tuck the tail. Protect your low back. 4, 3, 2. Hold. Hold that little lift. Reach the legs away. Bend. We're trying to keep the thighs at a steady lift. Reach. Reach. You should totally be working those glutes The abdominals to maintain that stability. Reach. Reach. Few more. Reach. 2 more. 1 more. And then carefully, just rest here. Press the child pose if you like. I'd like to do 1 more exercise here. So breathe and breathe and breathe. I'm going to show you. So it's kind of a combo of the last 2 movements and an add-on. Okay, so the feet are going to cross. They'll go with the legs will be up. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, reach. 1, 2, 3, reach. And if your brain can kind of maintain this idea, you can alternate which cross comes first. You know, if it's the right, try to switch it up so it's not always the same leg crossing the same way. All right, so lengthen, really engage. So we're wrapping, we're hugging everything in toward the midline. You can start already with your legs crossed. Little tuck of that tail, lift the legs up. So let's start with the 3, okay? So 1, 2, 3, extend. 1, 2, 3, extend. 1, 2, 3, keep going. Reach, lengthen, reach, reach. Let's do 2 more. Reach, and reach, and carefully release. Okay. Lengthen, lengthen. Breathe and breathe. Okay, hopefully we gave the upper body just a little bit of time, a little bit of recovery. I'd like to, I love planks and side planks. I think they're really empowering and strengthening. And thankfully they offer a lot of different variations. So I want you to find, you know, what works for you, what's helpful, right? So onto the forearm, you're always welcome to do straight arm plank. Just like before, when you're on our side, we don't want to collapse. So the same setup, and we always pay attention to how this feels. In the shoulder, I really have a lot of activation here between my elbow and hip. Lengthen. Notice head positioning, because anything can make this unnecessarily more difficult. Okay, so here, first variation, okay, or lifting up through the hips. Again, check in with your neck and shoulders. Maybe one leg straightens. I'm going to use my top arm to assist the transition, okay, and then the arm will leave. All right, so we're just holding, finding your side plank, your correct version of this. Check in always with your neck and shoulders. Breathe. Maybe that top leg lifts up. You can add movement. You know, it just depends on where you're at with this. We're just, you know, spending time here, right? Exhale. Good. Few more seconds here. Let's do 5, 3. Be intentional about your exit. Carefully come down. Take any time you need here to check in. I'm not hurrying into the second side. So check into with the shoulders. We're just trying to make sure that any practice, whether it's, you know, strength training, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is, it's kind of getting into the body from all different angles, right? Challenging effectively, holistically. Breathe and breathe. And then as you're ready, side to, I don't know how I do this every time. It's like the mat that just sneaks. Okay, so I'm coming onto my side and I'm gonna just feel and notice how I want to collapse. I'm gonna try to not do any of that. The more lift I can support, the less I'm overloading the shoulder, but it's appropriately loaded. Okay, so lengthen, stay here, or carefully lift the hips. Make any little adjustments, okay? Keep checking in. Where's your right variation? I need to get on my mat. There we go. And breathe and breathe, okay? And keep checking in. Maybe take that top leg up. Maybe move it. Ooh. Without swinging the rest of the body. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe. Any variations with your arm, okay, if it's off the ground. This side is totally different. Good, so another 10 seconds here. 5, 3, and carefully release. Hopefully you felt like that was an even experience. Again, just taking a moment. I'm going to be doing some things with the ball. We'll focus on low abdominals, and a pillow, rolled up towel would work great. Okay, so just depends. You know, I have just oodles and oodles of tools at home. So, all right. So I'm going to lay back down. And then once you're there, if you're using, we're putting support underneath the sacrum for now. Okay? And the tail is going to be tucked. We're going to go into that posterior tilt of the pelvis. So that's the positioning of your tool, if you're using one, should support that. Okay? Still retracting those shoulder blades. Chest is nice and open. Shoulders, the neck is relaxed. Okay? Legs closer together, carefully lifting. Okay. So I'm just thinking about trying to lighten up off the ball, whether I come off, I'm not trying to lift off the ball. It's like I'm just trying to lighten how I'm pressing into the ball. Exhale to lift. We're trying to challenge those low abs. The slower you go, the more you'll feel. I'm really, really trying to not shrug my shoulders up by my ears. I'm also trying to think about lifting my legs more up than toward my face. Okay, so it's like I'm trying to send my knees or my feet up toward the ceiling. Woo, I'm trying to slow down the descent. That's where we begin. And then if your descent is slow, then slow down the ascent. Oh my goodness, this can get challenging very quickly. Couple more. Carefully lower down. Take the ball out of the way for the moment. Okay, or whatever tool. Check in. Neck and shoulders, or wherever feels right and good to you. Okay, now we're going to do it again, no tool. Okay, so if you didn't have a tool, you're doing it twice. Okay, so retract those shoulder blades, space between the ears and the shoulders, carefully. So we're stabilizing the pelvis, but we're in that posterior tilt from the get-go. One leg at a time comes up. And then we're trying to not use momentum. You can, hold on here. Exhale and lower. Slow ascent, slow descent without crowding our neck. I'm trying. Over and over and over again. Good. Few more. So, such a valuable exercise. One more. And carefully release. Again, just check in. Those low abs, that connection, inner thighs, pelvic floor, low abs, so important. Our day-to-day life, okay? It affects all our ability to do all kinds of other things, and especially anything that has jumping involved, even if we don't want to jump anymore, okay? Still makes it easier. Okay, so we're going to come up more toward a seated position and put the ball behind us or any support low. Okay, so it's going to shift where we feel our effort, okay, from where we, for a moment, That last exercise or so, we felt it more lower. Here we're gonna feel mid to upper. Still retract those shoulder blades. Feel the connection between the ribs and the hips. Support your head and neck. Make sure your chin is not locking down on your sternum. I'm just going back and forward. I'm gonna start to challenge how far back I go. And then use that squeeze. Inhale to go back. Exhale. Legs can come together. You might elevate just the heels. I'm bringing my feet a little closer to do that. Okay, so my feet are close together, close to my body. Hands might go behind you, and I'm shaking. Back and forward. Maybe take one leg up off the ground. And I'm trying here, just like everything else, I'm trying not to shift my weight. Okay, so if the more you challenge your balance, is any other part of you compensating? Back, squeeze. I'm gonna switch. Back, squeeze. I'm trying to be equal across the back side of my pelvis. Squeeze. 4 or 5 more here. Squeeze. Good. Last 3. Again, over and over, scan your body. Make sure you're working effectively. 1 more. And come up. Breathe and breathe. Maybe take this tool, whatever you've got. If you're not working with support, you're working even harder. So really make sure you're doing the appropriate amount of reps, the appropriate depth and intensity. Okay, this just gives us a really nice reference. So it makes it a little, I think, a little easier to kind of connect where are we trying to strengthen. So right now, I'm in flexion, so my tail is tucked, right? But I'm still maintaining space between my ears and shoulders. I'm lightening up off the ball, lowering. It's an intentional lift and a slow return to the ball. Exhale. And inhale to lower. Exhale. Keep checking in with your neck or wherever you tend to store tension. Few more. I'm going to add on to this. And I'm watching the time so I don't go over. I'm going to hold this here. I'm going to take my right arm to my left. Now I'm going to come up in this little bit of a twist. Lift and lower, but monitor that your right shoulder is not creeping up. Can you stay level across the back side of your pelvis? Okay, your right and left glutes, are you equally weighted? Good. Few more here. Feeling that X marks the spot. I'm going to add on. Holding here. Lift the arms and lower. And lift and lower. Trying to keep yourself centered. Are we wiggling right and left? We're trying not to. Trying not to shift. Good. My knees are wanting to lean to the right. Trying to keep them pointing straight up. Good. One more here. Keep the arms up. Lighten. Lighten. Just 3 more. Lighten. We'll do the other side in a moment. And release. Just support. Again, I have the mental challenge of trying to remember everything we did. I'm going to turn around though, just so I'm not turning away from you. Okay, so we'll just support and come back to the center as you're ready. Just a few here. Okay, again, the legs can be as close together or maybe hip distance, so kind of find that position. Okay, hold. We're going to go to the other side. I have turned, therefore I'm confused. Okay, but hopefully you're doing your other side. Check in, engage those sides. Come up. So it's that intentional ascent and descent. We're almost done. It's almost time to stretch. Lift. Lift. Good. Feel the X. Few more here, and of course, adding on. Okay, so again, are your knees wanting to veer? Okay, what can you do here to mitigate that? So you press through your feet, you press through your seat. Good, let's do one more. Hold, lift the arms and lower. Lift. Keep checking back in with your body. Okay, can we avoid compensating? Lift. Good, a few more. Lift. 3, 2, we're gonna hold this next one. Hold, lift, lift. Pull the abs in and up. 4, 3, 2, hopefully we've evened out. If I forgot anything, please do what you need to do to feel even. I want to position this tool, again, hopefully you have something. I want to just come into a little bit of a back bend. So I'm moving the ball to in between my shoulder blades, and there absolutely is abdominal engagement, but I want you to feel supported. I'm just trying to remove the limits of the floor so we can support and start to open up. So you only go back as far as you feel you can support, and I love back bends. So find what's right for you. And I'm just coming up a little bit. I know when we come up, there's definitely work. We're definitely working when we support. And you're positioning your head in a way that feels good for your neck. Couple more. One more. I'm going to move the ball out of the way, laying all the way down. Again, retracting those shoulder blades, this time coming into a bridge that's more of a stretch, okay, than trying to increase challenge too much. So breathe. On your exhale, come up. You can stay in more of a neutral position with the spine or embrace the back bend aspect. Take any variations with your arms. Breathe and breathe. Lengthen through your whole, from the shoulders through your knees. Smooth breaths. Carefully lowering down. Bringing the knees in, side to side. So kind of a reverse of what we did to open up the class, you know, the reverse order. Chest is nice and lifted and open. Shoulder blades are still a little bit toward each other. And that just that slight retraction. Couple more times each side. One more. And then you can circle. We're going to get some other stretches here in just a second. I'm going to hold on to my right leg, reach my left. So be here and lengthen. If you want to go into that single leg spinal twist, I always do a little bit of pre-work. So I lift my hips, shift, okay, and then twist. And that just helps me feel like I get my spine in better alignment. I get more out of the twist. And for me, I get those satisfying pops, releases through the spine. And then carefully come back. So I do that same little shift as I enter into the second side. And I really reach and try to lengthen so that my hip doesn't, so this top hip doesn't hike up toward my ribs. I'm really trying to reach the sitting bone away from my body. Another breath here. Carefully come back to the center. Take any other final stretches before coming up, maybe returning to seated. I just wanted to say another hi and thank you real quick before we
have to say goodbye. I miss you guys so much. I see familiar names, familiar faces, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. So thank you all. So yay, I hope you feel good and have a wonderful rest of the day and weekend. Bye, everybody.